Alright, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles 2. I keep forgetting the exact name of the second game. Resolve? I have no idea. It doesn't really matter. So far, I'm not impressed. That is my verdict. And yeah, I'm planning to finish this tomorrow, if not the day after. Today or tomorrow, because holy hell. Well, at least the second episode. It shouldn't be too far off, but I'm feeling really tired today, so I don't think it's gonna be a long stream today. But yeah, let's get started, shall we? I haven't started the game this time. And I forgot to turn down the volume for my output is... Right. Where did we leave off last time? History? Right. So we established that the tea was not poisoned, or at least the tea that was used to make the coins for the gas clock thingy. Meaning they can't, beyond reasonable doubt, prove that Soseki-san is the murderer. But Van Zieks, of course, has other plans. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request. Mr. Shamsbear? Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. Bailiff. Show Mr. Shamsbear to the stand. Sorry, I just ate. Well, apparently I'm a bit gassy today. Mr. William Shamsbear, the victim of this despicable crime. Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth 'twas I, Shamsbear, did have a bellyful of the foul fluid given in mine innocence. Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from a supply company, yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamsbear, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given. That's right, fellow jurors. Don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten. Kept all that about the ice coins a tiny secret, didn't you? You should have owned up sooner. Arrest him, I say. Arrest him at once and let him feel the sting in my tail. Oh, indeed. By dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends, I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins of that, I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths. And for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But what did that still greater crime what unpunished? Please give me a translation of this. Okay, I can understand it, that's not the problem, but it is so hard to read. For lo, the fairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me. Okay, I guess. One second.
Objection.
What? No, that was not my plan. I wanted to do something else. Giveth me my browser, please. Map. Europe. Load faster, please. Could you be so kind? No. Political map. I don't care. Okay. Okay. I was constantly trying to picture where the United Kingdom is in regards to Italy. And yes, I know where they are basically, but I was like, I wouldn't call it east. And I still wouldn't call it east. It's more southeast, but it is all right to call it east, I guess, of London. But still. Oh well. There could be worse things you can say. Sorry, I didn't show you. It's not really relevant. But, right. Let's see. If this is a map of Europe. Picture this as the Italian boot. Then the United Kingdom is about here. Verona, I believe, is here. So London, let's call this the United Kingdom. London being here. It is eastern to London, but I would still call it southeast. You know, just so we're clear. Oh no! Is it off again? It's fine, I guess. Right. But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that. I can read, yes, hopefully, no. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamsby? Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak. Then speaketh your truth, so I can deny it. Very well, that let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why it is that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. The tea inconsistency. The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. Oh, you can actually speak normally. Somewhat. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison, whilst feigning distraction in our debate, nor did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus, 'tis no surprise that poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap. Dude, maybe you should have hidden the cups if you were going to claim that. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Quite. Otherwise, it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. By now it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Can I cross-examine him, please? Like right now? I don't even need to cross-examine him. I could show you my proof right now, and we would be done with this bullshit. Ha. Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shakespeare, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose. Well, I do declare nothing. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. Yep, okay. Skip. Okay, present. If you don't count that, for some stupid reason I'm gonna be angry, alright? You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question, and that you used the tea that was left in his cup to make your fake coins. But that's not possible. How job logic? What is this, ye clad friend? The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof. Incontrovertible? What difference? Look at the insides of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean. And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday, the Japanese saying he quoted, "Drink tea while it's hot." That's right, yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, A ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamsbear, you clearly lied to the court. Get the Nuri what?
Objection!
Shut up, Van Zieks. As a rule, I fill my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. We had 4, I believe. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamsbear. Yes, my liege. Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Eh? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? A fact that had vanished from your memory until now. Dude, are you serious right now? Remove this man from the premises. These are leading questions and should not be allowed in court. Leave, Van Zieks. Thank you kindly. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician, for verily 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but no, when I looked, it was empty. And thus did I use the tracks that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest. And you just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. Yes, that was definitely what you used to trigger his memory. Evidence. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only, and secondly, that his spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Judge, are you serious right now? Furthermore, their testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, the inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No. What does this mean then? I do declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony. Apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously. My lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery alehouse that night. Naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake of my favourites, a broth as wouldst be called soup, and a leaf as wouldst be called salad. As insalubrious as a menu as the establishment where I was served. But you gods will give us some force to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment is seen fit to serve as a wicked thief of gas, but I pray ye wise and noble fellows, ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman. I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. By me. I do declare you may be right. We all know the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer said, the lad says, if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the garden path, that's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time and we won't be swayed from it. The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman and will duly hear the jury's findings. What? No, you can't yet. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Bam, 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 bam. Another summation examination. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus was born. Something like that. Forgot. Oh my god, I haven't watched those movies in a while. How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well, the court upholds the defense's rights. Typical, my learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. You mean you are unable to accept the obvious truth, Van Zieks? You are the one that forced this trial to continue multiple times now, although there was reasonable doubt established. This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged. Judicial findings. The juror's contention. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. Sure. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Truth be told, the tea my wife served serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. If nothing else passed the victim's lips last night, that night, there's no other explanation, is there? You're kidding me. I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind. No, you really should mind. Yes. The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unsaleable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shumsby was poisoned. There can be no doubt about that. Then how are we supposed to turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shumsby was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. But that's surely almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty. No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. The defense's rebuttal. I'm a man of logic, May, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. Tell me more about that. All the evidence, you say? That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big moustache. Says the Englishman with the bigger moustache. Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind. If only we had that kind of evidence. Don't worry, the summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light. Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can't quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madame. But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas and air is free. Why should Altaman gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever. This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either. If I might interject here. Ah, yes, madame. It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the costs goes up. Oh, what a beastly man. That uncapped moustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable. No. Mr. Natsume isn't the one who's stealing gas. I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes. Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas. Okay. Can I pit her against her?
Objection!
And those two statements are fundamentally at odds with one another. My lord, as foreman of the jury, I must object. What? Being the leader, it's my duty to stand up for all jurors here present, and stand up for them I will. I concur with the foreman. Counsel, I warn you, I shan't abide any petty forgery. But... Until you've got your facts straight, keep your pointy fingers to yourself. I thought I did. We're trying to find inconsistencies in these jurors' statements, Mr. Naruhodo. The key to it is comparing the different things they say before attempting to pit them against one another. But I did. Alright, I'll have another go, I guess. Yeah, shut up.
Hold it!
Tell me more. Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas? Do you think so? Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I'd take poison over gas every time. You'd take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it? Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room. Ah, you're right. I hadn't considered that at all. Young lawyer man? Yes? You have a good hand on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative. Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experiences with gas companies in the past. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Can we please talk about the case? Please refrain from all this talk of gas. There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity, huh? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison. Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madame. Nevertheless, when... I skipped again. The theft of your gas is deplorable. My point exactly, but the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates what to contend with on a daily basis, you know? More devious? Who, madame? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square. Indeed, nobody's questioning that, madame. Although Ultimate is an exemplary gas company. But there are others, unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that. They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible? Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes, but these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the households supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that rightfully is ours, without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft. When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from the meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks. Pursue. Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled about it recently, you see. Go on. An Altman gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipework. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please, tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there. Oh, please, everybody knows, but it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean? I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect the customers to our pipe network. Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it? Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment. Ah, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes. Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you? Well, if he blew hard, then wait, you mean... That's right, the lights didn't just flicker. They went out. Along with the stove, gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster. The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow, "Are you trying to kill us all?" I said. So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just suddenly seeps into the room. Mr. Naruto, I think perhaps... Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information. Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind. Well, I do. That's our company's secret. Method of identifying the rogues that try to diddle us. Like I said, madame, it's widely known already. Very well. Juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly. Yes, my lord, although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble. Okay. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. You mean it's poisoned? That's right. It's happened a tiny few times now. This is most troubling indeed. It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see, And I see her doing it. My wife. She gets that devilish look on her face and she slips some white powder into my cup. And you drink it anyway? I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. Hey Erika, how you doing? If someone... oh, yeah, okay. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell. So it wasn't poison, it was salt. Dude. Yes, salt can be poisonous, I guess. In the right amount. Ooh. Wow. I'm so... you would drink everything. Definitely. Ow. I'm doing alright. But I don't know, today isn't my day. I tripped over some stuff while walking my dog and fell face first into the dirt. And now my right shoulder hurts and is a bit stiff. I have no idea why I didn't fall onto my shoulder. And I didn't really catch my fall with my right arm. I did put it forward, so could be affected by that fall, but I don't know. It's annoying. It is my dominant hand after all. Well, he does seem to be quite healthy and resilient. If he can survive the described amounts of salt in tea. And then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt. No. So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. You would be dead if she was actually trying to poison you, dude. And salt, in the long run, is also deadly in these amounts. So maybe... I don't know, you might want to talk to your wife about that. Let's move on, please. If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
Hold it!
Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you'd change your leaning? Huh? Sorry, what's that now? I was just saying if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on the night. What's the matter with you? Sorry? I said, if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all? I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here. Compared to the other jurors, who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently. I suppose the trouble is he has selective hearing? Very selective. Exactly, but still. This juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need. Ah, this is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people. I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shemsbear was really poisoned. We have no proof that it happened some other way, and not via Mr. Natsume's tea. Yes, I know, the trouble is... I have absolutely no idea how it did happen. Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten. Oh? Like what? It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone else says. If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, we already did so, Susato. Can we skip this? Once again, Suzuki-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. I probably owe it to my client to hear any advice my sister may be able to offer. So perhaps I ought to let Susato-san remind me, then again. Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible. Of course. I'm sure you're right, but if you decide you would like your memory refreshed, you need only ask, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay. Against all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I can't pit him against anyone. Can you count breathing in gas as strychnine poisoning? No. I don't think so. For that, let me Google what strychnine actually is. If it could. Strychnine. Starre Muskeln. Sehr geringer Dosierung als Analeptikum eingesetzt und auf der Dopingliste geführt. Give me that in English real quick. Oh, shut up, Wikipedia. Simple English. Is a poisonous substance which is naturally produced by the plant, blah blah, together with It's found in the leaves and seeds of this plant. Okay. I have never heard of the Strychnus nux vomica, but okay. They are rather extreme example of the way some plants protect themselves against herbivores. Huh. Oh. Oh. Okay, okay. So he did poison himself. His salad consisted of that plant. Is that what you're telling me? Oh, what I would assume now that I figured out that it is part of a plant. Right. Can I press this again? Why can't I press? Oi!
Hold it!
When you say extinguish everything in the house, do you mean even on the different floors? Oh, yes. All floors are connected to the same pipe after all. That's true of every building, because gas supply contracts are issued for whole properties. Well, I had no idea that it was possible to extinguish gas appliances simply by blowing down the pipe. It's not something we like to publicize, to be honest, but we have to carry out these investigations, as I'm sure you can appreciate. Indeed, it has been mentioned on more than one occasion in the papers even. Is that so? It's been mentioned to me too, very recently. An incident involving the gas stove going out inexplicably, almost leading to someone's death. No, someone did die. Mr. Natharado, I think perhaps... Yes, it's finally starting to fall into place. The secret link that joins all of these strange occurrences. What? It took you that long? Hmm... But other than press and pit them against each other, I can't really do anything. There's no other explanation, is there? Okay, let me save real quick. Because I want to try pitting these two against each other. Not that it makes a whole lot of sense, but...
Objection!
Those two statements are fundamentally at odds with one another. Yeah, I know. That was just a test. To be fair. I don't see what I am supposed to pit against each other. Alright, let's test pit these two.
Objection!
If I could show you evidence, we would be done. No. Man of logic, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. So if I put him against him? Oh, these two. We're just gonna try everything now. Because I really don't see the combination they want me to go for. I pressed everything. I got the information that I needed from him. Unless you want me to press her again to get more information, but that wouldn't make much sense, would it? Oh, unless you want me to put him against him. No, you don't. No, 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 no. Don't save it. Go to load, please. Information Society? Never heard of them.
Objection.
But hey, Prisickies, how are you doing? Let me load that real quick. I've listened to everything. I have no idea who to pit against each other. Oh, nice. Table content. Powerful. Yeah, but I did.
Objection.
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Didn't I pit those two against each other already? Okay. Good gracious, those to whose statements do you refer, counsel? Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said? Eh, what? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other. It is. It is so strange. But I guess they wanted to open it to the general public now. For the smaller creators as well. I always found it quite confusing that only the bigger creators get the community tab, while the smaller creators are left alone, I guess, in the dark, having to find another way to communicate. So yeah. I like that I got it, but it is strange, and I have no idea what to write in it. And I keep forgetting to mention when I'm ready to stream. So yeah, I'll have to get used to it. I heard him mumbling about something or other. Whoops. There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did in a manner of speaking past the victim's lips on the night in question. What? What explanation? I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene? To see if there were any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. What a piece of work is a man. What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamsby? What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir. I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body. Good lord. Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying? Or is the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him, huh? For shame, madame, speaking thy fancy. I assure you I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes. Only for streamers? That would be strange as well, though, don't you think? Oh well. Yeah, I'll try to get it set up, I guess. Although my... Oh, sorry. The start of my stream is so inconsistent at the moment. I was good at keeping it at 7 PM plus minus 5 minutes, but these days it's like plus minus an hour. More so plus than minus. So yeah. Maybe. They just keep telling me that I'm not doing good. So yeah. They do want to widen their streaming market, I guess. So I can understand it, but I definitely wouldn't want to switch to Twitch. I don't like Twitch, so I will stay on YouTube, but they definitely have to work a bit more on the streaming experience, I guess, especially in the chat. But yeah, maybe they will learn in the future. Then the community tab is definitely a positive.
Objection!
This is no summation examination. This is a farce. This whole trial is a farce, Van Zieks. Just, please, stop it. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips on the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say. Aw, thank you.
Objection!
It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shamsby put his lips to the pipe. I was looking for your stream, actually. Are you streaming on YouTube or on Twitch? Well, you said you have the community tab as well, so you probably stream on YouTube. But for some reason I didn't find you. It's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shamsby put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamsby has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. And I have evidence to prove it. Alright, you've got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself. So, would I? Let's see this evidence then. Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that time and time again Mr. Shamsby stood in front of his gas lamp.
Take that!
What the? These are... wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene. Skin prints, Counsel? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however. Oh, alright. I'll look into it. My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? Huh, well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure. I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect on the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here, around the hanging picture there. Indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible. Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps? At first, my colleague and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of... Oh! I don't believe it. The gas lamp. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspeare has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp. Right, what have you been up to, you nut? I'd asked the court to record juror number 4's earlier statement. Me? What did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement... What? Me now? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is... if Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building as well. Cricky! Are you suggesting that the man purposefully caused the gas to...
Objection!
Give it up, Siki! Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zieks? This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case. But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective. It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
Hold it!
Please, my lord, if I may. Miss Susato. It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wished to present the results of the Great Detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the juries would agree. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. Juror number 3. Oh, yes, I do declare that Great Detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about the shady handprints. Alright, 2 more to go. Let's go, babies, let's go. What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise. No, wait, you heard his lordship. It's not fair. One more, alright. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue. Thank you, Mr. Seto, but I couldn't have done it without you. Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success. Why, Mr. Shamspeare, you seem to be losing your composure. Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it. Very well. Continue, counsel. I'm a man of logic, Mayor, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I'm very interested in the results of this great detective investigation at the scene. Yeah. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs... Who is left to pit against each other? We tried 1 in 5, which didn't really help. Alright. Oh, no, I wanted to go back. Yeah. Thanks, Susato. No, I don't need a refresher. Please, just shut up. I wanted to go back and not forward. No. Game, you should have realized that I don't really need it right now. I already did that. Is it that hard?
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say? That's right. And there's no room for doubts. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with that big moustache. Just the Englishman with the bigger moustache. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? What your so-called skin prints? It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself. The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was. Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides, yes, even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Well, if you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You do make a very solid point, sir. What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty. No, wait. Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese courts can, that is. Just leave our nationality out of this, please. Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before may very well change them back. What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shemsbury really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? No, in truth I don't have evidence to support my theory, however. There is witness testimony that substantiates it. What's that? Testimony? This is incredible. Whose testimony? Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Gary Deb residence that night, namely...
Take that!
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume himself. The defendant. At the very beginning of the proceedings, here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings, there's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even at that fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shemsbury's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out and somebody tried to kill me. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out, so I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not? Good golly. So that Shamsbury fellow blew air into the pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Now halt your horses there. What would he do that for? Mr. Foreman, what is it, man? We cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet, however, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost. Right. That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with the majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now call guilty, 4 now call not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and, in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shemsbury. My lord, how can thy humble Shemsbury serve thee? What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination? So God mend me, I do solemnly swear, I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe. I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. But your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh? Where's my Wilhelm scream? I'm done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5. No, 1-6. The only one that has sullied these courtrooms is you. And your utter inability to admit defeat. Who? Me? As I went to some pains to point out already. A print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains, at this time, unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Objection.
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shumsby's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there, what appears to be extremely simple is my Nepalese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of the tea were required. Yes. Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. No. Didn't think of that. In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipe where he lived? There's only one possibility that I can think of, and that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. Order! Order! Counsel! Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end? The answer couldn't be simpler, now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shumsby wanted to end the life of
Take that!
Soseki Natsume. If the gas alarm were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live round those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time. Mr. Gerida, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shumsby was trying to end. Outrageous. I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder. Good gracious.
Objection!
The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged, namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Yeah, how? Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison in the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison? So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamsby's murderous designs? Ah, you mean to suggest? Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. Well, okay, you do not know this part of the story yet, Van Zieks, so I guess I can forgive you for that stupidity. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe and what was a clear retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Whatever Mr. William Shamsby may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetrated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? Maybe I would, if I didn't know the whole story. Don't you dare change your leanings now. I don't want to go through another summation examination. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? Because you let him! Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage. What advantage? Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamsby's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Miss Natsume of guilt. You mean name the true culprit? And no, it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all. As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider the leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. Huh? What? Don't you worry, I will. There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already. I have no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. Thank you. Tell us, my Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime. The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamsby is, I believe, Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where. Miss Olive Green? The woman from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of the stabbing of Briar Road. That incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe. But I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. And I hardly remember need remind the court that Mr. Shamsby's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Oops. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in hospital unconscious, so on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison. Good gracious, she had poison? And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamsby. My lord, pray, what be thy bidding? Are you acquainted with Miss Green? Eh? No, never heard of her. Judging by the look on Mr. Shamsby's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her, at least not by name. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned Nipponese friends fast through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order... I don't need... Okay. Okay. Whatever happened. It seems to be fine now, so let me ignore it. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient. Very well. I grant the request. Excellent. I hope. The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's arguments remain largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsel. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned. Oh, it's short. But it's fine. It is fine. Yes, please. Give me that save. Save complete. Boop. And we shall not We shall not, I said. And save again. Alright. Although, no. Not really. Yes, I saved. Save for all, yes. Oh. We shall reach the conclusion tomorrow. At least I'll try to do so. I'll be busy the whole evening on the 17th. And after that, I want to play the devil in me. So yeah, I'll try to finish episode 2 tomorrow. I have no idea when I'm ready to start with episode 3 of Ace Attorney Chronicles. Currently, I'm too salty with this game to continue, so yeah, I'll have to see about that. But yeah, after episode 2, definitely Devil and Me, and maybe, what's the name? Beacon Pines. Runway character? Okay. Interesting. But yeah, maybe some Beacon Pines after the Devil in Me. I don't know. It's supposed to be a bit spooky, and cute, and adorable, and I'm all for that, so those are my plans for the next few days to weeks. Probably a week at max. I shall see. And after that, I still have no idea. Maybe start Horizon Zero Dawn. Maybe. Oh well. It feels so short. But yeah, it's okay. It's a decent amount to stream. Not really 2 hours, but should be fine, right? So yeah, I'll check out your community post in a bit, and yeah, if you have any suggestions what I should play other than the games I just mentioned, do so. I'll look into them. Other than that, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.